Hi everyone, welcome to On the Other Hand. I'm Ariane Zurcher. In this video, I begin with this feeling of just being completely at a loss. I spent a couple of days doing a whole lot of other things. I've been very preoccupied by all the things that are going on in the world and was feeling really like I just could not come in here and concentrate. I just felt very discombobulated and anxious, worried, all the things, right? So I decided I'm just going to turn on the camera and I'm just going to give myself a challenge. And so you'll see that. You'll see what I do, which I had not planned. I just literally turned on the camera and thought, I must do something. And if I feel like other people are watching, I'm going to do something. I'm going to, even though it was me turning on the camera, I could have turned it off and no one would have known. But you'll see then what happens in this video. I'll end with a little wrap up and a little story. I'll turn you around and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm really struggling to do anything in here with this piece, or really, and it's just been so hard. So here's what I'm doing. I am giving myself a challenge. Just do one thing on this. It doesn't have to be good. It just has to be something. I always say do whatever is the easiest thing. Right now I did this. I put it on top of cheesecloth because it felt like it was too skimpy. And then I sort of thought, I liked it when it was just like, more, without the cheesecloth. So then I got another piece of green here and I'm going to just kind of stretch it out over this bit and just kind of leave it. But I do have to adhere it somehow because it's just going to, fall apart. So, and what do I have? I do have some, this, which I think is a pretty good, so maybe that's what I'll do. I will thread up some of this and just kind of strategically wrap it around. The other thing I did was I took some wire and I put some beads on the wire, thinking that I would put this wire in different places, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it right now. And then it's this one, and I wrapped it, and then I glued the ends, and I put a little glue on my fingers, and I just kind of went like that. So it's really, it's not coming apart. And I did the same with this one. I think it's also Painters, but I can't remember. Okay, so I've threaded this up. I'm going to come in here like this and just try to catch some of it. Get in here. There we go. Okay. And then just sort of catch a little bit of this. Well, that worked. So I did that and it looks fine. And now I'm moving on. It occurred to me that I have this big piece of linen that I did all these different stitches and YouTube videos. Like this one was a YouTube video that I did with GIMP that was actually pretty funny because it really didn't work. And it was a live stream. So, it wasn't like I could fake it. And so anyway, I thought that in this space here of this burlap, I could cut this out and put this in here, which would be kind of cool. So I think I'm going to do that and put that here. And then there are all kinds of bits in here that I can use. So I'm going to play with that. But the point is I'm feeling a little more invigorated and excited. I also pinned this part on, which was the bouillon tendril, beaded bouillon tendril, the video that I did. And keep working. That's the point. Keep going. This is what I'm thinking of putting it here. I think that looks good. I like that. Okay, so this is how I'm placing it. I kind of like the idea of putting little ribbon roses. That's what all these are in here to tack it down. So let's see, how do you do a ribbon rose? You go, so for a ribbon rose, you're going to go in here like this, and then you're going to wrap it around, and then you're going to do a running stitch. I hope this is right. I haven't done a ribbon rose in so long. And then you're going to do a little running stitch down and into the material, like a French knot. And then you're going to pull your needle through. And let's see what happens. Yeah, I think that works. Okay. So now I'm going to do another one sort of here. So you swoop, twist, running stitch down the center. I'm going to put the video that I did of how to do a ribbon rose in the upper right corner so you can see that. But that looks good. So I'll do a little cluster here. And then I'm going to do a whole bunch over sort of here, here, in here, and just kind of tack the whole thing down. That's the plan. Okay. Now I'm going to come over here. Okay, but I think that works. This is a wooden bead that I wrapped in the ribbon, the silk ribbon, and I put a little gauze in the middle and then tucked, and then as I wrapped the ribbon, I stuck my needle in so that it had this little gauze over the hole. Okay, so here's where I'm at. I have grabbed another one of my gel print monoprints, my gel plate monoprints, and I've added it here, and I wanted the marks to go like that. So I've kind of pinned it in there, and I showed how I tacked this bit down, and I adhered this with little, I actually added some French knots with my silken pearl in here, and I did the ribbon roses all along here so that it's completely tacked down. I added this. This is paper towel that I used Caran d'Ache on, and then machine stitched a grid to sort of hold it all together. And I think that works as well. So this is kind of where I'm at, but this is what happened when I felt completely at a loss. I didn't want to come in here. I felt totally uninspired. I was feeling really preoccupied and just a lot of fear and anxiety and about everything. And so coming in here seemed like just not the thing to do. But in fact, it was a great thing to do. And I've got a nice little bit of this now done. And so I'm going to keep going with this. Oh, and this is some wire that I got from Aura Fibers, which is an Australian company. And it's wonderful. They've got this, it's wire that they've wrapped, I think it's, well, I don't want to misspeak, so I don't remember. But if you look for it, you'll find it. And I believe it comes in different colors. And anyway, so I did this. I'm not sure I'm going to leave this, but it doesn't really matter. It's, it's there. That's fine. But I think that this is a testament to what I was talking about, which was that feeling of anxiety and feeling completely paralyzed as a result, and going ahead and doing one tiny thing. So in my case, it was just putting this down. And that's kind of my motto, do the next easiest thing, whatever that is. And if none of it feels easy, then just start with something. I'm going to end this video with a little story. I grew up in a household with a very, very, very strict father and a mother who did not stand up to him or felt, I guess, for whatever reason, felt she couldn't protect us. And so asking questions was paramount to, it was a crime. I mean, you just did not question his authority, ever. And if you did, you really, really felt the brutal consequences of doing so. I'm telling you all of this because I think often what happens is that we are trained in all different ways to be a certain way. And in my case, it was to acquiesce, to not rock the boat, to not ask questions, do as you're told, stay quiet, be obedient. But it wasn't until I started to really look at that and to do the very painful and hard work of untangling all of that, did I start to feel like I was coming into my own. And as a result, my confidence really, really started to come through. And the more that I create using my authentic voice, not the voice that was in my head, not my default voice, which was often my parents', it's my voice. And when I started to really pay attention and learn the difference between my voice and that other voice that was telling me to be small, to be quiet, to just go with the flow, to just do as I was told, the more that I said no to that, the stronger I began to feel and the less fearful I became. And so in my art, and of course, this translates out into the world, but in my art, which is, what I'm focusing on, my choices start to get bolder and they become stronger. And my voice becomes more assured and it becomes more clear. And so this idea that one mustn't question, which is what I was brought up to believe was the way to be. You must not question. When I started to say no to that, when I began to ask questions, that is when my life and my art began to really take off. And now I can tell you that in my 60s, I'm living my best life because I am no longer willing to just go along with whatever an authoritative figure is telling me. I'm trusting myself. I'm trusting my gut, my instincts. I'm trusting the voice in my being that tells me there's a different way for me, a better way for me to live my life. So I would love to hear from all of you. Is there a time that you can remember, some experience that you've had where you questioned, where you asked the question, or you said, no, I'm not going to do this. There's some rule that you broke, or something that you were taught to be like, and you said, no, I'm not going along with this anymore. Was there something? I'd love to know. And did it show up in your art? How did that change? Did it shift anything for you? Did it change anything? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all your lovely comments. I always read them. It's one of my favorite parts of making these videos is all of you and your comments. So if you haven't reached out before and you want to, I always answer the comments and will continue to as much as it's humanly possible. So here is to creating together and asking questions.